we're going to talk about stem-changing verbs. Stem-changing verbs in Spanish are going to be verbs that, when you conjugate, we've seen that verbs end in ar, ir. We're going to see that these stem-changing verbs in this second to last syllable, our vowels are going to change. That means that in this second to last syllable right here, a vowel is going to change, and there is 4 possible changes. First, I'm giving you a little bit of the theory. One change possible is that O changes to UE. Another possible change is that E changes to IE. Third possible change is that E changes to I, and then there is a fourth possible change where U changes to UE. Okay, so if this is a word, and we start counting the syllables from back to front, in the second to last syllable, there will be one of these stem changes. Okay? So stem changing verb is going to be a verb that in this syllable that one of these things is going to happen. Okay? And then I want to explain to you how that happens. Let me see. Okay. So let's go back to the category where we said that first category we said that O changes to UE. For this category, you are going to have AR ending verbs, ER ending verbs, and IR ending verbs. For the second category, where E changes to IE, you are also going to have AR ending verbs, ER ending verbs, and IR ending verbs. Third category, where E changes to I, now you're going to only have IR ending verbs. And in the fourth category, where U changes to UE, you will only have one verb. Okay? So we look back at this. Let's take a look at this again. So what did we say? We said that we have stem changing verbs, and we said that a stem change means that on the second to last syllable of a verb, we're going to have one of these 4 possible changes. Then we also said that when O changes to UE, we're going to have AR, ER, IR ending verbs. And we said that when E changes to IE, AR, ER, and IR. When E changes to I, we're going to only have IR. And when U changes to UE, we're going to only have one verb. And we will start with that example. Okay? So let's take a look at that. Put this guy away. And we will start with the simple first category where U changes to UE. Only one verb. The verb is to play. To play in Español, as in to play instruments or music, as to play sports or games, not instruments. Instruments or music, it's tocar, which is not a stem-changing verb. Okay? So jugar, what do you do when you conjugate? Yo juego, tú juegas, él juega, nosotros jugamos, and ustedes, ellos, and ellas juegan. All right, what happened here? Jugar became juego, juegas, juega, and juegan. Notice that jugamos didn't change. So stem-changing verbs are going to have a stem change for everybody except nosotros. See? We talked about the stem-changing verb. This stem change is going to happen on the second to last syllable for everybody, meaning yo, tú, usted, él, ella, it, ustedes, ellos, and ellas, but never for nosotros, okay? And the first example we talked about is jugar, right? Because in this category where you changes to UE, there's only one verb available, and the verb is jugar, right? There's another to play, which is tocar. That one we are not going to conjugate. It's not a stem-changing verb. It's just a regular verb. Also, we have to notice that when we did these conjugations, the endings are regular. All the stem-changing verbs have regular endings. The only big thing about them is that there is a stem change. Other than that, they have regular conjugations, okay? So now let's talk about O that changes to UE. Let's see. Let's do O that changes to UE. Let's do it in blue. O that changes to UE. We said that we do have AR ending verbs, so we're going to do recordar for that. Recordar significa to remember. All right, we say recordar. Yo recuerdo, tú recuerdas, usted, él, ella recuerda, nosotros recordamos, and ustedes, ellos, ellas recuerdan. All right? So what happened here? What happened here is we have an AR ending O stem changing verb. O that changes to UE. And recordar, which is to remember, changes to recuerdo, recuerdas, recuerda, recuerdan, and nosotros has no stem change. Okay? The category of O changing to UE, we have AR ending verbs as we explained before. Recordar is going to be one case. Let's take a look at another of the cases, which is going to be O changing to UE. We're going to look at an ER ending verb, and we'll do volver. Volver, you will say vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, volvemos, and vuelven. Again, O changes to UE. The verb is volver. It's an ER ending verb. Second to last, the O is going to change to UE. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, vuelven. And for nosotros, there's no stem change because stem changing verbs do not have a stem change for nosotros. Okay? That's our second OR. Let me put it somewhere here. Hope I don't forget him. I'm next to this guy so I can remember. And now we're going to do O changing to UE, IR ending verbs. For IR ending, we have two verbs, dormir and morir. Those are the only two IR ending verbs where O changes to UE. And both have to do with closing your eyes. One temporarily, the other one permanently. So, let's do our conjugations. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, because dormir or stem changing verbs for nosotros never have a stem change, and duermen. Okay, again, dormir, which is a stem changing verb that O changes to UE, is going to have the stem change for yo, for tú, for usted, él, ella, for ustedes, ellos, and ellas. And nosotros has no stem change. Okay, again, duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, and duermen. Now let's take a look at morir, which is to die. Morir, conjugation is going to be muero, mueres, muere, morimos, and mueren. Okay, so what we did here again, O changing to UE, IR ending verbs. There happens to only be two IR ending verbs that are stem changing for O to UE, and they are both important, dormir and morir. Muero, mueres, muere, morimos, mueren. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, duermen. Okay, so these are going to be the, wait a minute, I need to change this a little bit. There you go. These are going to be the stem changing verbs for UE. Now, let me see if I can. How do I group these guys? There you go. So we put them all together so we can see all of them. We have recordar, and then we also have volver right here. And then we have dormir. So here we have the AR ending. Here we have the ER ending example. And here we have the IR ending examples. I gave you two examples because there just happens to be two verbs of these. Okay, so when we say that O goes to UE, we are going to have AR, ER, and IR ending verbs. The example we're using for AR is recordar, which is to remember, volver for the ER ending, which is to return or go back, and dormir and morir for the IR ending. And like I mentioned, the stem change happens for everybody except nosotros. There's never going to be a stem change for nosotros. Okay? Then if we go, if we go back to see the previous category, which was U to UE, in this category we had, right? We mentioned that in this category, U to UE, we only have one verb that changes U to UE. The other one was O to UE. U to UE, one verb only. Jugar, which is to play sports or games. Juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, and juegan. I should also clarify that or mention that my A's are funny. Sometimes they look like this, sometimes they look like that. For some reason I don't do the normal common A. So I hope that's not going to be a problem. Let's see, now let's talk about the other. Let's talk about the other. This guy here. Get rid of these guys. Now let's talk about E changing to IE. Remember, when I talked to you about the categories, I said there's going to be, make this categories bigger. I said there's going to be 4 categories. O changing to UE, AR, ER, IR. I did recordar for AR, volver for ER, and dormir and morir for IR. I've also talked about this 4th category already, and I talked about that one first because it's very easy. There's only one verb. Now we have to talk about these other 2 categories. In these 2 other categories, E will sometimes change to IE. For that, we have AR, ER, and IR ending verbs. And E is sometimes going to change to I. In this instance, we will only have IR ending verbs. Okay? So, let's take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at E changing to IE. Okay, for the AR ending verb, we're going to use the verb cerrar, which means to close. E changing to IE for everybody except nosotros. Cierro, cierras, cierra, cerramos y cierran. See how it works? Again, E changes to IE for the verb cerrar, which is to close. Second to last syllable. Cierro, cierras, cierra. Nosotros never changes. Cerramos and cierran. Okay? Now we're going to do again E to IE with a verb that you are familiar with, which is to understand. To understand in español is entender. Entiendo, yo entiendo, tú entiendes, él entiende, nosotros entendemos, and ustedes entienden. Right? So what we did is the stem change for entender, E to IE, is going to happen on the second to last syllable. So it becomes entiendo, entiendes, entiende, entendemos, because nosotros never has a stem change, and then entienden. This is an I. Entienden. Okay? Let's see, what are the verb? Now let's go take a look at E to IR. E to IE for an IR ending verb. What happened here? Okay, E to IR ending verb. We're going to do, let's do to lie. Mentir. Yo miento, I lie. Tú mientes, you lie. Él miente, he lies. Ella miente, she lies. Usted miente, formal you lie. Nosotros mentimos, no stem change for nosotros. And ustedes mienten, or ellos, ellas mienten. Mentir, IR ending, where E is going to change to IE. Miento, mientes, miente, mentimos, and mienten. Okay? So these are going to be, again, and I'm missing one here. There you go. So these are E to IE, we have AR ending verbs. E to IE, we have ER ending verbs. E to E, we have IR ending verbs, okay? In your book, you should be able to see several examples for each, okay? Now we put these away. Now I've been talking for 20 minutes, which is too much. So we'll stop so that we can do some exercises, okay? Let's take a look at some exercises for this O to UE. Let's take a look at a verb, for example, to count. To count is contar. Okay, this is an O. Contar. Contar. It is a stem-changing verb. So I count, you would say yo cuento. You count, tú cuentas. He counts, él cuenta. She counts, ella cuenta. We count, nosotros contamos. They count, ellos cuentan. Okay, so contar right there. Contar is a stem-changing verb. That's why we're doing these changes. What's another verb that has a stem change? AR ending, O to UE. The verb to dream. Group these together. To dream. To dream, you dream about people. In English and Spanish, you dream with people. So you say to dream is going to be soñar. S-O-N-A-R. Soñar. I dream, yo sueño. You dream, tú sueñas. He dreams, él sueña. We dream, nosotros soñamos. No stem change. They dream, ellos sueñan. Okay? Let's see. What else can we do here? To try on. Let's try on. To try is going to be probar. To try as in to sample. To try on is probarse. Okay, so if I say I try on clothes before buying, me pruebo la ropa antes de comprarla. You try clothes, tú te pruebas la ropa. He tries the clothes, él se prueba la ropa. We try clothes, nosotros nos probamos la ropa. Ustedes, ellos, ellas se prueban la ropa, right? And the reason why we have these me, te, se, no, se is because this is a reflexive verb. Now, this is a reflexive verb. Probar by itself, if we forget about the se, is to try, as in to sample. I want to try that car. I want to try this class, right? That's going to be probar. But if you want to try on, you don't try on the class, you don't try on the car, right? If you try on, it's probarse. If you just try, as in to sample, it's probar. Okay, and these were the conjugations. Let's take a look at another verb. Okay, let's do another stem-changing verb. Now we're going to do acostarse. Acostarse significa to go to bed. Acostarse. Right? It's reflexive. The stem change is going to be in the syllable before the ending of ar. Acostarse. So if you say, I go to bed, now notice, to go to bed. Everything is here. To go to bed. Everything is here. We don't need to come up with a verb. We don't have to use the verb to go. We don't need to use the noun bed. It's all here. So if you say, I go to bed, you will say, yo me acuesto. You go to bed, tú te acuestas. He goes to bed, él se acuesta. She goes to bed, ella se acuesta. We go to bed, nosotros nos acostamos. You guys go to bed, ustedes se acuestan. Okay, so so I think we've done a lot here. Let's do some exercises. Let me pull these on the side so we can have some more room. Hopefully I won't have to open these again. But if I have to, they'll be right here waiting for me. Okay, so let's do an exercise. So it says, he goes to bed late. He goes to bed late. Okay. Él se acuesta tarde. He goes to bed late. Él se acuesta tarde. Okay? Terrain. Terrain is also a stem-changing verb. Let's take a look at terrain. Llover. I don't rain. You don't rain. He doesn't rain. We don't rain. They don't rain. It rains. It rains is going to be a stem-changing verb. Llueve. It rains a lot. Llueve mucho. It doesn't rain. No llueve. It always rains. Siempre llueve. It never rains. Nunca llueve. It doesn't rain. No llueve. Oops. No llueve. It doesn't rain anymore. Ya no llueve. I'm confusing you here. Okay. So, doesn't rain anymore. We'll do that again. Doesn't rain. No llueve. It doesn't rain anymore. Ya no llueve. It is raining. Está lloviendo. It has rained. Ha llovido. It's going to rain. Va a llover. Okay, just random exercises just to go back a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do another example. Let's do one last example because we're at 29 minutes now, and then you can follow and do the examples on your book for all of the O to UE stem changing verbs. And you can also do the examples of the U to UE, which only have one verb. Okay, so let's take a look at this now. Let's see. What's another good verb to remember? Recordar, but we've done plenty of that. Let's do to sleep. To sleep is dormir. Let's do to fall asleep. To fall asleep is dormirse. So if you say I fall asleep, me duermo. You fall asleep, te duermes. He falls asleep, él se duerme. We fall asleep, nosotros nos dormimos. You guys fall asleep, ustedes se duermen. Okay? So we will stop here and then start and continue with the other verbs in a minute. One second. Okay. Now let's do the last category. The last category is going to be verbs that E changes to I, and we said that there's only going to be IR ending verbs here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a few of these verbs, examples of a few of these verbs. Common verb here is going to be to repeat. Repetir. Okay, to repeat, repetir, the stem change is going to be here. So you say, if you want to say I repeat, you will say yo repito. Tú repites. Él, ella repite. Nosotros repetimos. Ustedes repiten. Okay, very straightforward. E changes to IE. There's no AR, there's no ER, there's only IR ending verbs. And the stem is going to happen, like always, on the second to last. Repetir, repito, repites, repite, repetimos. No stem change for nosotros. Repiten, right? It's another verb in this category. To request or to ask for. Request or ask for. Okay, another example here of E to I with IR, because there's only going to be IR ending verbs. To request or ask for is pedir. Right? The stem change is going to be right here. Yo pido, tú pides, él pide, nosotros pedimos, ustedes piden. Okay? If you want to say, I ask for it, you would say, yo lo pido. You ask for it, tú lo pides. He asks me for it. Él me lo pide. And so on. Okay, so now let's go back to review what we have said here. We've said a few things here. We talked about stem changing verbs, right? And what we originally said about the stem changing verbs is that a stem changing verb is going to have a stem change on the second to last syllable. We have AR, ER, and IR stem changing verbs, right? But they all fall within one of these four categories. We're either going to have O to UE, E to IE, E to I, or U to UE. We said that U to UE is the easiest one because we said that in that one we only have one verb. So that's why we brought this one first, and we did the conjugation. When we did the conjugation, it turned out to be that we do not do a stem change for nosotros, so we discovered that all stem changing verbs are going to have these stem changing, but for everybody except nosotros. Jugar is the only one in this fourth category. That's why we started with this verb. Then we did the O to UE, and in this category we said that we have several, right? Then we said that in the category of O to UE, we have AR ending verbs, ER ending verbs, and IR ending verbs. It doesn't look like an IR, but that's what it's meant to be. In the second category, E to IE, we have AR, ER, and IR. In the third category, E to IE, we only have IR ending verbs. Okay? So then we moved on to explain these to you with some examples. Right? And we started first with the O to UE, right? In the O to UE, we started with to remember, which is recordar. En recordar, we said recuerdo, recuerdas, recuerda, recordamos, recuerdan. Then we brought in, where's the other guy? Maybe it's this. Now what the verb is, it's volver. Just can't find the example anymore. It's got to be this, I guess. Yep, there you go. This was it. All right. We said volver, O to UE. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, volvemos, vuelven, no Stem-Changing for nosotros. And then we did with IR, we did dormir and morir, right? Which are over here. We said dormir and morir. Duermo, duermes, duerme. Dormimos, duermen. Muero, mueres, muere. Morimos, mueren, right? So this is the, all of these guys are the O to UE. Okay, group them together so that we don't, so they can stick together from now on. Okay, and then we talked about, then we also talked about E. We talked about these guys here. Then we talked about E to IE, also AR, ER, IR. Let's take a look where they are. And we said, we brought this guy. Which is cerrar, right? To close. Cierro. Cierras, this is an AS, cierra, cerramos, and cierran. All right, then we did entender, which is a verb we should be very familiar with, to understand, right? Entender, entiendo, entiendes, entiende, entendemos, and entienden. And then we did a last verb, which was to lie, which is right here. To lie is going to be mentir, miento, mientes, miente, mentimos, mienten. Again, nosotros never has a stem change. Okay, we're going to group these guys together, and we're going to take them away. And now the last category is E to I, only for IR ending verbs. In this category, we used as an example repetir and pedir. Repito, repites, repite, repetimos, repiten, pedir, pido, pides, pide, pedimos, no stem change, and piden. I did some examples. You can do the rest of your examples with the exercises in your book. This has taken way too long, 34 minutes. We'll stop there. Gracias. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. And where can you contact me? You can contact me right here. give you my email so you can contact me at any time. jgcortez at SpanishLC.com. jgcortez at SpanishLC.com. Okay? Muchas gracias. Chao. Next page. So first we're going to talk about